episode. Hey gamers, welcome to episode. I forgot what I said at the beginning. Hey gamers, welcome to episode 3 of Cinema Curse, a bold new experiment in talking about movies live on the internet. Today for episode 3, everyone's favorite nursery rhyme turned movie, Skinamarink. Everyone's favorite Don Cheadle star, Talk to Me. And more when movies are labeled as being really scary. I am Connor Lloyd Cruz, and I'm here with, and I'm sticking with this as his intro because I think it's a good one. The Joey Chestnut of talking about movies, Edwin Gomez.
Hello, America. I'm on the boulevard. I'm somewhere in the valley. I'm cruising. I'm rock and rolly, and also I'm still uncensored because I can't be stopped. Not even God can stop me.
I did accidentally have you muted for the first 5 seconds of you talking there. So I did, in that way, I did sort of censor you.
You can be stopped with a mute button. Yeah.
You can be stopped.
There is a man here for you.
This is how Lenny Cruz died, man. This is how they killed him, man. They censored him and boom, they got him, man. They got him. I'm in the valley, going to Mulholland Drive to find Laura Palmer.
Can you upload exact coordinates? So if anyone has any sort of control over any sort of ballistic ground air missiles.
Yeah, sure. I'm in the NoHo Arts District.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm in the NoHo Arts District.
All right. NSA. You hear that?
Yeah, and
and joining us for the first time because he's been on vacation, the other guy who was sort of on the ground floor of this. It's funny. This is in a lot of ways, this 5 is a representative of the pure ground floor of what this is, because it's the two guys who I co-hosted the podcast with, who I wanted to bring over, and the two people who have also been here from the beginning because we've been using their music. But Daniel is here. If you want to introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Edwin Gomez's court-appointed guardian for these streams. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Daniel, fuck you. It's going to see America, seeing the world. Where are we, man? Just forgot about us, man. Daniel, you changed.
Sounds like you're in the NoHo Arts District.
Sure I am. Yeah.
Bri?
Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Brian. That's all I got. I'm just Edwin's handler as well. We're just all here for Edwin. This is really what we're hired for.
Assistant to Mr. Gomez.
Yeah, just making sure he can navigate the valley. I'm just keep looking out the window. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for him to fly right by. See the destruction in the path.
And Marina.
Hey, I'm Marina. I guess I was on the first.
You were in the first one. Technically now you've been on it more than Daniel. You're the only person who's been on it more than once that isn't me or Edwin.
Heck yeah. Awesome. I'm also Edwin's carer, and was assisting him earlier at Cinephile. So that's
Marina saved my life today. Actually, Marina, I have something to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I went back to Cinephile.
Okay.
I got another movie.
That's okay. Yep. But sure, 6 rentals. Yeah, good luck. I know you can do it.
Oh, you can knock that out.
I've been doing it since the day I was born. It's like the day God tried to kill me. I'm still here, still rocking and rolling, man. Out here in Magnolia. Wait. No, Moon Park. Moore Park. Where I'm violent.
You're actually now about a minute away from my place. Once you get to once you start going over the LA River, honk your horn.
Oh no, I'm gonna yell at you. Actually,
I'm gonna see. Just honk your horn as you're going over the LA River. I'll see if it's you. I can hear you from this vantage point.
Damn it. Never mind. I've been told by my driver that I cannot do that. Don't worry.
So you have multiple handlers beyond. There's layers.
So many.
Well, there's a driver, a handler, assistant, caregiver. These are all different titles with different responsibilities.
Yeah.
All covered by the taxpayer's dollar.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, America's burden, Edwin Gomez.
This is what covered California is for us here. It's actually just making sure Edwin's good.
Those damn Democrats.
um, but yeah, let's. We don't have anything else we have to do at the beginning, so let's move on to. It's Talk to Me, baby. No.
What?
No, Talk to Me was also the name of a Don Cheadle movie, but we're not talking about that one. We're talking about.
man, I'm in the video, man. I thought we were talking about the Don Cheadle, man. That's a great picture, sort of.
Talk to Me, yeah, supernatural horror film from first-time directors about a bunch of friends who touch a hand in order to see ghosts, and things go bad, as things usually do. Yeah, what did we all think of Talk to Me?
I haven't seen it, but I love those two guys, man. They're the most talented badasses of Australia. You know, I always considered I consider Talk to Me as like kind of like, what was the last Australian movie to come out here in the US? Was it Babadook? Was it Babadook?
Babadook was probably the last big one that from the indie world.
I consider those. There was a genre back then, and it still is today, called Aussie exploitation, where lots of crazy will come out in Australia. I consider Talk to Me to be one of those categories for those movies, because exploitation movies are incredible, man. They're batshit insane, and I think Talk to Me fits in that category because it looks like a batshit crazy horror movie, and I'm pretty sure it's good. I want to see it. I mean. Yeah, I might lose signal in the bit right now, so just a heads up.
All right, well, that's fine.
Cool.
Well,
Do you guys think Edwin would participate in Talk to Me if it was
Absolutely. If enough people pressured him, yeah. Because
peer pressure?
No,
Yeah.
I would say hell no, man. I'm gonna grab a gun and it's like, fuck this, shoot that damn thing.
you just
And-
shoot the ceramic.
Oh,
I mean, you could.
fucking-
No, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It kind of made me think it was like The Exorcist, but from Reagan's perspective, except Mia is a willing participant and she's down to just like fuck up her whole life because she's going through it. So yeah. I really liked it though.
I did too. Grief bad. I guess that's what we really learn here.
So true.
Grief tough. I had a great experience because I sat next to a very animated audience member who was he clearly was supposed to be sitting with the people in the row behind us, but it was like relatively sold out, so he sat next to me and was trying to kind of keep his cool. So he would say a lot of things under his breath, but very aggressively as it happened, and just like had a lot of shaking. And it sort of elevated things because jump scares don't typically like give me a jump, but his like full physical throwing himself in fear was kind of spooking me, and it was a lovely experience with that.
Whoa.
I liked it for the most part. I thought it did a lot of the things that it's been like I'm a big horror fan, and it's one of those that I feel like for a while now there's been things that have come out that have that it's going to be the scariest thing you ever see that are disappointing, and it doesn't really do anything. And this did a lot of the good things that I really liked and I appreciated. I think obviously my only criticisms they're only my own personal weirdness of just I would have wanted more world stuff, but taking for what it is, I definitely appreciated a lot of what they did. Like I definitely would have wanted to venture into that little world a little bit more, the little demon world they kind of connect to for real quick, but I kind of wanted to see what was going on there a little bit more.
Yeah, I kind of I think we saw it together. We saw it with Casey, and I really liked it. I did think I wished it had either been either weirder, like more abstract, or if it had. I'm gonna mute Edwin right now, for me at least, just because or I wish it had gone the other way, where it was a little more specific about some of the stuff, because there was a push and pull with some of the ways that the demon stuff worked, that sometimes worked for me, with its vagueness, and then at other times it was oh well, are they just doing this because the movie needs to get from point A to point C, and so they're making up like a
Sure.
point B that's kind of like kind of whatever. But it is hard to talk about its like most effective stuff without getting into spoilers, because I feel like there's
Sure.
like a big turn, and probably the most violent thing in the movie that happens like halfway through, I'd say.
Mhm.
We should talk about that in a second, but I do know that they greenlit a sequel,
Yeah. Saw that.
apparently, and so
Yeah, I heard there was like rumors of a prequel regarding the first, like the intro, the introduction scene with the brothers, but I'm not
I could be into
even
that for sure. 'Cause I wish there
Yeah,
was more lore. Like some of the
yeah.
mythology of what this was would have been a little bit more to venture into than just like monkey paw kind of thing.
It's interesting because I'm conflicted in wanting to know more, because I think it's
Right.
how loose it is makes it kind of unsettling, and I worry that
Right.
if they don't nail the lore, it's going to be like, But some of
And
just
that's-
like the sprinkles of what you learn are so interesting about like the
Right.
lore of just the physical object, and then on top of it, I like that it's simple. I think it works, but I do think you'd have to kind of get into it to make
And that conversation always happens with a lot of horror movies. It's like, well, what it did is these things, but if it did more, it's always that conversation. I feel like a horror especially comes up so often that it's like, take it for what it is, but you want that little bit more sometimes. But we've all seen what happens when the more is just terrible.
I don't want them necessarily like, I don't want to see like when the hand is created or whatever, and it's like
right.
Yeah.
But it's more so. I think I had a thing where this is like a mild spoiler, but there's this idea like early on about Daniel's left his post. He's
Sorry,
good.
Kevin's barking.
That's okay. There's this idea like early on that it's like, if you hold on to the hand too long, the spirit's going to want to come out. And then as the movie goes on, a lot of the tension becomes about certain characters dying or not, and whether that's going to cause like, whether it seems like the people, whatever this force is, wants them to die to like join them or something. And that felt a little bit like, that was like a thing that was like a little at odds in my brain, where I was like, those seem like kind of opposite motivations for the bad guy. Like one is moving out, one like is absorbing in, and I think that was like where it sometimes like was weird in my brain.
I liked the countdown thing as a tension thing, and I actually thought the methods that they used to make it where someone could risk going over it were actually kind of like, I was like, oh, I kind of believe that in the worst way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do, I think, and stuff. And
it was most effective the first time they went over too. Like you could feel it in that energy of what was happening around. We were like, oh, I don't know what we're gonna do next. We've crossed over into something where I think that was the pinnacle, and then it sort of fell flat. Even the they were trying to, the younger character, they're trying to put, this is energy around them, and I was hoping it was going to be from a place of this innocence, or the reason that they were more susceptible to this. And then after that big run over the 90 seconds with the other character, we just never.
Discord crash. We had a Discord crash. Sorry, everybody. Continue your point. Baba Booey.
Yeah, there's a lot I want to say, but I don't want to get into spoilers until
yeah, we
we're
should
in that territory, if we're in that territory. But
I'm having a little
and the non-spoiler stuff. Do you have to like start something back up, or should we?
No,
continue?
I got it. We got it. We're good.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
I guess we're gonna talk about hype later, so I won't bring that up. I think it does one of its smartest thing in the world, 95 minutes. So even if you're not vibing, it's over if you're not. I was, and I also was fans of the filmmakers from the YouTube days, and I was kind of curious how that was gonna cross over, because what they're famous for, I don't connect to this subject matter at all. But I actually thought it was really restrained from what I was expecting from them, outside of like the burst of violence, which got to kind of really like lay into their style. I was sort of surprised that all of the like, especially camera stuff, was used for effective tension versus just like showmanship. Even though it starts with like a big oneer, I was sort of like, okay, are they gonna try and do their like thing? And I was very impressed that they didn't.
Are they known for being like really extravagant.
They're big action spectacle special effects with
Okay.
crazy camera work type of stuff.
I've heard they're directing Street Fighter or some sort of, I don't know where that came from,
I
but
heard that too. Yeah, I saw that as well.
yeah. So
That makes more
that would make
sense.
sense because
Yeah.
they are so good with practical effects and so good with
Yeah.
choreography. The directors
That
are
I will.
incredible
Yeah.
stunt people themselves. It's insane, but I would love to know where this emotional depth came from as far as all of the like metaphors they're trying to convey and stuff. I had to really sit with it and be like, okay, like where because it's kind of a bleak film by the end of it, but it's
Yeah.
bittersweet. I think it's not overtly bleak or anything, but I'm just curious to know like where that stems from.
I was surprised they committed to where it ends up, in all honesty. I sort of thought
Yeah.
they would kind of find a way to tiptoe around it. It was interesting. I think it's just an American sensibility. When I was watching it, there were sort of racial politics that I was super curious. If I was like, oh, is there an awareness of this for me that I'm noticing, or if it was unintentional on their part? That especially as we got to like the third act, where I was like, whoa, are they going to really lean into this? And I don't know if it's going to work. And then I realized they weren't at all.
Yeah.
And I'd be curious to hear people's readings from probably people much smarter than me in some essays, if that was intentional or if it was caught, because I thought that was super interesting. A thing I was attached to that I don't think actually was intended.
I know it was, what is this supposed to be? Southern Australia or something? It's supposed to
think
be
so.
like an area where a lot doesn't happen.
Mhm.
And it's kind of where they're from, and I think that element's really cool. They can just like bring that element of themselves to it, and maybe
Yeah.
there's something there that I'm unfamiliar with as far as like where they're from or what the climate's like or anything. I'm not sure, but it did feel like when I lived in a small town in New Zealand, and it's somewhat similar. I got a lot of very similar vibes from that. So it could just be like a small town kind
Yeah.
of rural thing.
Makes sense.
It pulls you in with a sort of the like horror trope of a dead deer with a kangaroo, where it took me a second
Yes,
to be like,
yes,
I
that's
don't know,
their
what does this mean?
version.
And I was like, oh, no,
Totally.
that's just
Absolutely.
yeah.
I loved that imagery. Is so
Ignorant.
cool.
I think that was the moment that I was like, that's right, this is Australian. Like I kind of forgot for a second. I was like, oh, that's right, we're doing an Australian thing. That was definitely the sign.
And then
For sure.
Miranda
Oh,
Otto
yeah.
showed up. And
Right.
Eowyn.
Exactly. Oh, she was so good.
There, without dipping spoilers, I also was super.
We
shocking
have
thing for me.
you haven't seen, but we do like a talk and then a spoiler talk if we want to
Okay.
move in a second into spoiler talk, and we do like we put spoiler thing on the screen, and on YouTube I mark it so people can skip. But
Sure.
I was gonna say before we go into spoilers, that sequel should be called either Talk numeral to me or Talk to Me TOO.
Let's go.
Talk to me as
I-
well.
I too want to be talked to.
But yeah, let me pull up the spoilers. Spoiler time. Yeah, they fuck up a kid.
Yo,
Yeah, they
I was
fucked them up good.
the first thing I was gonna say was Riley got so fucked up in the best way possible. I have not seen a possession like that in a hot minute. He's banging his head against the ceramic towel, and it's so determined to just make his head explode in the kind of best way as far as a practical kind of effect thing goes. I couldn't tell if there was CG blood, but it looked pretty real to me, and I hate CG blood, so it was all over. So
Yeah,
I don't like eye
for
things,
people
so
who
the eye thing really bugged me in a great way.
yes,
Yeah.
for people
really,
who
really
haven't
good, really
seen the
effective.
movie and are just diving into the spoilers because you
Hey,
don't care.
Hey, Connor,
What?
can I step out a bit? I gotta record something real quick.
Yeah, that's cool. You've just been showing us
Alright.
nice views. A couple times I would zoom in
Yeah.
on you.
This
With-
looks like
I
universal
know.
This
look
looks
over.
like on TikTok when there's like someone talking, but there's like the subway racers.
You're cutting the
Saying,
kinetic
I
sand.
I see everyone's house, man. I see it from the horizon. I see everything. I am God.
All right. Well, these
Okay.
aren't
It's
talk
perfect.
to me
Poetry.
spoilers. Why don't you get
All
the
right.
fuck
All
out
right,
of here?
I'll hop back on when I have more signal. All right, I'll be back.
All right, cool. Well, hopefully hopefully we'll talk long enough that you'll get to rejoin for the game at least. I'll let you know.
Read.
I'll let you know when that's about to happen.
Yeah, text me. All right, just keep texting me. All right,
All right, sounds good.
and I'll hop back on. All right.
Sounds good.
All right. 1, 2. All right, I'll be right back.
He's just terrorizing tourists up there right now. They just want to look over and be like, "Oh, there's Universal." You just got Edwin terrorizing him.
Oh, and I even.
Hey, Kevin.
Oh, it reset to the gentleman when it did the thing. It's not the Don Cheadle movie anymore.
Oh, interesting.
Oh yeah, we have another special guest, Kevin.
Kevin's here. You haven't seen Talk to Me, but there is a dog and a kangaroo, so she would bark at it.
Mm.
And now
So
she's
true.
sleepy.
Kind of similar breed, no? Maybe, sort of. That
I
was a
think in the same
bulldog.
family.
Yeah, same family. Yeah.
Yeah. Great dog.
Oh yeah.
A very good dog. Yeah. Let's look at this. Let's get a close up of Daniel and Kevin. But I'll just over this close up. I'll explain that. Well, the beginning of the movie kind of is sort of centered around these teens having like parties where they play with the spooky hand. Halfway through, a party happens, and the how old is that kid? Like 10, maybe, ish. I'm guessing 10,
I would guess
12,
like middle school age.
I think he was like in middle school.
preteen, maybe.
I'd go 12. Yeah, 12's a nice fair. Yeah.
He gets involved and he gets fucked up. He gets tossed around and beat around and almost dies. And the latter half of the movie becomes this tension where our main character, who also touched the hand for too long, she thinks that maybe her mom is talking to her from afterwards. We, as the audience, are like, oh, is it her, or is the ghost trying to get her to do stuff? And it kind of becomes about, what is she going to do to herself, and what is she going to do with this kid? Is she going to, kill the kid to try to save the kid, kill the kid for no reason, etc.? I think maybe the most effective moment for me is at one point she touches the hand, and there's a ghost. There's like a ghost on the other side who, instead of her letting the ghost come into herself, the ghost lets her come into the ghost, and so she gets to see the like underworld evil, Hades or whatever the fuck, and you see the kid, and it's some real like heavy like Event Horizon shit. Where I was like, oh
Look,
fuck,
it's like a little
It's great.
society-esque.
yeah,
Very disturbing.
very upsetting.
Absolutely, that was kind of my favorite imagery from that
Definitely.
film, because it was such a stark contrast, not only like with the color palette, with the color palette, but just the whole aesthetic is it's just like demonic hell incarnated in the best way, and you only see it for a few seconds, and that's just the best. Very effective. I wanted a little more, but I think that's kind of the thing we always face with horror films, is like, yeah, when is it too much or too little, like, to maintain that mystery or the kind of allure of it? And I know people get caught up with like plot holes and stuff like that, but I kind of just lean more towards like, I like to leave it a little ambiguous. I always feel like that's kind of the safer route.
This thing feels really ambitious, but like it's calculated. Where I think
It's grounded.
I think
Yeah,
they know,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in a way that you sort of forgive those things.
Well, I think that's what it is. Because we've seen so many. We have these ideas, and then all of a sudden, you're conflict. You're like, what the fuck are we doing? And then by that third, you're like, that's what we did. The countless horror movies. So yeah, to see something of this where I'm like, that's where I feel like even reviewing this, I'm like, no, it was fine. Everything's good.
Yeah.
The things I'm criticizing are almost like, no, I'm happy to be criticizing this because we don't get movies even like this.
Yeah,
Very
no,
true.
I also think like the podcast has definitely trained me to want to like get out all my little thoughts in like 2 seconds, and the whole point of this stream is that we can kind of sit on stuff a little more. And so like, I totally agree though. Like I really enjoyed the movie. I don't know if it'll be like necessarily one of my favorites of the year, but I did really enjoy it for sure. And anybody looking for a good horror film pick should
A good
go
old
check it
time.
out. And the ending's great too. I mean, the ending, you start to
Ending's
kind of
great.
you kind of start seeing where the ending is going, like a couple minutes before it starts to happen, but then they just commit so hard to it. That part, I guess we won't even spoil in the spoiler section, unless we want to actually
Wow.
Yeah, it's just
elaborate
it's
on
good to
it.
just enjoy that on your first watch.
Yeah.
It's good enough for sure.
Its only other note: Crazy Frog. Should
Crazy
be in every
Frog.
movie.
Crazy
Yeah.
Frog, man. That's the one sound of that entire film that just is the most haunting thing in the weirdest way.
Apparently, it was really hard for them to get that cleared, and they fought for it, which I kind of
Interesting.
love. Like fighting for Crazy Frog. You're like, I need this
Yeah.
vibe in my movie. Like, yeah.
I thought the same. I guess I didn't realize like Snapchat was still so prevalent. Or I was like, oh, Snapchat's still like I thought that it sort
Yeah.
of died a few years ago.
I
but
guess because we're
good
like
for
all
Snapchat.
adults. I don't know.
Maybe
I
it's-
have
maybe
no
Australia?
That
idea.
probably dates you. Maybe Australia's keeping Snapchat alive.
You never know.
But I'm very pro. My only last word on this is I'm very pro. Some more like miserable. I'm happy to see the return of miserable horror movies.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Despair, doom, gloom, leave
Yeah.
you wanting all that. Absolutely.
No, 100%. I agree. Yeah, as someone who's the Evil Dead's my favorite. So
Yeah.
Totally.
I always agree.
And I think
Yeah.
that's where even some of the ones we're talking about, like Smile came out, last year. It was
Mhm.
one of those that was another hyped out, like this is the one, and I just was irritated watching that
Yeah.
entire movie.
I'll say this though, I like Smile did commit. That ending is pretty fucking bleak, or it just like
The ending's pretty, yeah, it is. It is.
like
It
I
just
like
did so
I like
much
the opening
meandering.
and yeah, it's the middle part. Like the opening and closing are
Mhm.
really good. But I don't know if either of you guys saw Smile. It was the summer of Smile.
I didn't. I just saw the end with
Yeah.
I don't want to, but yeah, the
Mhm.
end.
Mhm.
Pretty cool and unexpected. I feel like a lot of these films are being marketed in a similar way, and I think it can be kind of off-putting. So I try not to watch trailers just because I don't know if they're
Yeah.
trying to everyone thought Smile was going to be a certain way, and then it surprised
Mhm.
them and that type of thing. But I would certainly prefer a film like this where it feels like a nice, well-rounded horror film versus like I don't know the regurgitated like newer Halloween
I think-
movies, in my opinion.
Well,
So
I think horror especially is such an easy genre of tropes and just these easy
Mhm.
like gimmicks, and that's just what we where you fall, where the jump scares and all these things become. And now even like leading into with Skinamarink, I think like sound jump scares are this new thing where you're just jumping. You're not doing a visual take as much as you're just blasting the audience in a sound design perspective. That's just super gimmicky.
Well,
It's like throwing out a weird guitar solo on cover bands. It's annoying.
it's very yeah,
Let's
like
let's
cheap
let's switch to
sounding.
Skinamarink.
Let's get dinked.
Let's get
Color
Let's
let's,
get
dinked.
let's
I
get
got Skinamarink, man.
dinked.
Goddamn Skinamarink.
Yeah, Skinamarink. It's about 100 minutes long.
Nothing.
It is essentially about these two kids who wake up in the middle of the night to find their parents and all like the exits to their house gone. And it's very much so influenced by I think like creepypasta and but it also has like a 70s aesthetic it's kind of going for. And it's told in a very like abstract experimental way. The most you see of the characters for most of the movie is like their feet and like the bottom half of their legs, and you hear them talking. Yeah, it's a very I knew going in, I was not expecting to really like it that much. And I liked it more than I thought I did. I thought I would. I did watch it under probably optimal conditions, which was at home alone, headphones, lights out. So to be fair, I feel like if I were to play like Silent Hill music under that condition and just Google image search like haunted ghost photo reel and scroll through that, I would have also gotten kind of like
Are a little spooky?
like a little this is pretty spooky. But I did end up liking it, and I know it's funny because I think Daniel and Brian, you guys definitely represent. I knew because you guys saw it actually in theaters because it came out towards the beginning of the year. And you guys kind of represent when it came out. It was a very like love it or hate it sort of thing. It seemed like, and you guys definitely represent those two things.
The two sides of
and
the coin.
I'm actually probably I would say in the middle. Where I really like a lot of parts of it, and there's other things I have pretty big issues with. Yeah, I'm I'm a moderate.
Problematic.
Yeah. And Marina hasn't seen it, which is why I didn't mention her reaction. But yeah,
And even for me, I felt like I had similar of an experience that you did with just Perfect Conditions. I went with Casey, and it was despite being like an absolute soul packed out crowd at Burbank 16, it was like everybody was dead silent, was in it for every single minute. And then by that ending, I've never heard an audience just turn on a movie so badly because nobody was in this mindset of like, okay, like, oh, I like this or I like that. It was a genuine collaboration of all of us being like, fuck this movie. I mean, it's like one of those, like, I know what we were doing with this movie. I mean, it's definitely not like it's playing on your senses. So it's like, I think even when I was telling people, if it works for you, that's great. I wish it did. I think it was just one of those where I was paying too much attention to what they're doing in the sound design. And honestly, I was kind of even slightly annoyed at watching the credits and seeing how many people were involved in making this movie because I was like, I don't know, some of these fucking shots, I feel like, what do you have, 12 people setting up the shot? Really? I don't know. Some of that just played in my irritating of it. But that was just where this movie got to my just irritating all around kind of thing. And it's one of those I just don't even want to visit.
Like I like
you do like that?
I like divisive. Oh, I think it's the perfect type of divisive because I sort of agree with everything you're saying. Where I'm
but
like,
you're right.
Like these things
right,
for us, even if I did, I enjoyed it. But I also sort of during the pandemic, I got really into. I guess really with the back rooms. It's like a creepypasta concept, and this felt sort of like the first like backrooms movie type of thing, which I think is actually a movie happening now.
It is happening now, so that's cool.
I do my one. It's not fair to do movies this way, but I was really annoyed that they went for like that odd film grain type of look instead of like a VHS look.
I was gonna say the exact same thing.
We've said this before. Yeah, the 90s.
Yeah, I thought I was like, no, like do like noise and like VHS, sort of.
Or set it in the
shit.
70s or something. You know, I had three big issues with it of escalating how much I had an issue with them. The smallest of them is that it's too long. The second of which, though, is that I thought there was like an aesthetic mismatch that kind of like subconsciously bugged me the whole movie, where I was like, why is this look 70s but is 90s? Like it should be one, or they should commit one or the other.
Because it almost had that feeling of this. It feels like a cursed video that you're sent.
Like Marble Hornets or something. I don't know who saw Marble Hornets.
Or even the Innismen, where they like literally went for that look. They're like, no, we're doing the 70s. I mean, specifically going for this.
Yeah.
They did. I think I was struggling with this because it was definitely, I think we're going to get into this later, but it was super hyped coming out of, I think, festivals or something. And so I was like the first maybe half hour, I was sort of like, oh, okay, this is just in my vibe. And I was like kind of bummed. And then there's a moment, I wrote it down as the come upstairs moment where like suddenly I was like, oh, and then the rest of it worked. So I haven't gone to revisit it, and I can't decide if it's like a thing I would recommend to friends. Like it'd be a fun thing to do. Like I would love to have this as a teenager to put on with friends because it would be it would sort of have the talk to me thing of like, oh, if you're not scared, let's watch it. And they're gonna be, no, I heard it sucked. I don't want to watch it. And you're like, well, let's do it. Because I think if it can. At its best for me when the atmosphere was working, and if you could I sort of got the impression that it's supposed to make you feel like a child.
Yeah.
And so this stuff that's supposed to be scary isn't inherently scary, but if it's just your 6-year-old imagination,
right,
should be spooky to some degree.
I mean,
and sort of all the framing is all about this idea of like something sinister's around the corner, but it has if you don't connect with it, then it must feel tedious.
Yeah,
well, I mean, the most effective thing was that 911 call. I thought that was incredible, and then we just did nothing with it. I think that was the problem. Is sometimes they'd throw an element at you and then just not do anything after that. and I needed a little bit more of those beats to happen, even if it was in that very third. Even if you give me the last few minutes of something more, I just felt like I was just left with that, like, okay, I've been patient. I'm here for it. Like even in those last, I remember sitting in that theater going like, all right, I know we've been in this a long time, but I feel like it's going to pay off. It's going to be worth it. And then it just, those little beats just weren't enough for me to make it feel like it was worth the effort of what I just did.
And kind of, I think you're programmed to a degree with like horror stuff to have expectations of payoff, and so when it's
Absolutely.
not there, it feels very odd. And I think some of it works for me here, where I was like, because I couldn't figure out what I was expecting because it just kept not doing it. And,
Right.
But also that seems like it could be just frustrating.
Yeah,
and maybe in my case with the group mentality too, where everybody in the audience felt that energy of like, I'm in, sorry, kind of just, you know, like that was my, maybe I took that also, the energy with it, where you're like, yeah, fuck this movie, and we're all on the page.
An audience that's given up on something,
right?
I will,
and we all gave up
on it into that.
It was at the credits, like you could tell the feeling was not like, oh no, I'm like Babylon. The amount of people I saw, I've never seen more people use the washroom in my life than that movie. But this was like everybody sat for this whole fucking thing, and then that was the reaction at the title or the end credit.
Yeah, what's funny is like I think maybe I was just prepped for it because the narrative, the slimness of the narrative actually didn't really bother me. I mean, it probably, you probably could have had like a bigger payoff, to be fair, like totally at the end there, but like I was okay with how, like I actually thought the narrative, there was more narrative than I thought there was going to be, like far more. Like I guess I had been expecting it to really just be like shots at ceilings and stuff, but there in which it is visually, but like there's pretty consistently like something like happening, either like something new has disappeared, or they need to like go into a room, or they need to figure out like this, like the toilet's gone, you know, like that's a beat, and the phone call beat, you know.
It's the first thing since It Follows 2 that I felt like the movie made you study the whole screen.
Totally.
You're just looking for
absolutely.
You're sort of unsettled and having to like look to be aware, which I really liked. That was like one of my favorite things about the first experience with It Follows, is you're sort of stressed because you're having to do a lot of work.
Oh, I loved that. Yeah.
And I thought that Skinamarink captured that for me, where I felt like I had to study things, and half of it you can't see because it's dark with a bunch of grain, and so you're trying to like, I think the grain's almost, I think the
fuck, maybe Discord isn't the way to go. Oh man, it happened again. Maybe Discord isn't the way to go. I'm gonna have to
I just think it's funny that it's only you that are really, I mean, because even on Monday, are you on
your PC?
I'm on my PC. It just fucking.
You should try it on your new beast and see if it does the same thing, and if that'll be an indicator of the
also maybe just wipe out Discord, like a full uninstall, including like the
I may need to do that. I'm gonna send myself a note to troubleshoot it for next time, because I do think overall Discord's the way to go. Let me do this. All right, I forget what. I think Daniel, you were in the middle of something, saying something.
The aesthetic.
The aesthetics,
was playing with you because you kept looking as if you were going to find something in the grain or the noise of it all, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, I liked.
I just saw a lot of Legos.
Yeah, I did. I mean, the grain is so fakey, I will say that. So it like at certain points it took me out of it, but it also like you couldn't tell. At times it looked like it was probably being manipulated in certain scenes, like a little bit. But it wasn't just like they put the grain on as like one effect the whole time. It felt like they were like altering it and like changing it. Yeah, I did like I liked the kind of hopelessness tone of the story, because it's a fucking nightmare. I mean, it is like that full creepypasta thing of like if like this is just like it's just a kid getting abandoned in their house. Your house becomes a prison. I like that they were able to hold it back. I think my biggest issue with the movie is I thought the jump scares were bullshit. Like I thought other than one, there's one towards the middle when they go to the basement where there's an image that's revealed at the same time as the jump scare. That the image is shocking itself, at least. But all the other jump scares are pure just sound. There's not even like really a context in the story. It's just like they've been playing for 5 minutes, and
it's just jumping frequencies at you. It's
like, of course, that's gonna get you to go like, ah, you know. And I thought that was like, for a movie that like shows a lot of restraint and patience in every other category, that was the thing that bummed me the most. Where I was like,
but yeah, I think the sound design was actually the most irritating thing about that for me, because I could feel the things that were, again, gimmicky with that, because everything else had that detail so specifically done that it felt like you're just now using the sound as like a way of excusing cliched gimmicky stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't have anything else to say about Skinamarink, to be honest. I don't actually think we need to do spoilers about Skinamarink. What's the spoil? Like,
yeah, even I know like the ending a bit. Where, I mean, would this be a spoiler?
You eventually see parts of faces at certain points in the movie. That's the biggest spoiler that you could possibly really give.
Yeah,
and you get dinked.
I mean, I guess there's a couple of things you could talk about technically that would be spoilers, but I don't want to talk about them.
Yeah, go on that journey yourself. Maybe the big spoiler is the disappointment you'll have.
I definitely think it's I'm a fan. It's not something I intend to revisit anytime soon, but I definitely think it's worth a go.
Yeah. Well,
most unreview review. Give it a shot.
Give it
the most unreview. Oh, form your own opinion.
I mean, at the end of the day, if it works for you and somebody's genuinely terrified, that's great. Yeah. I wish it worked for me. You know, it's like those things. Like I love when somebody does hit something, because that's just the difference on where none of our opinions matter at the end of the day. Because if it worked and it was effective for you, that's great. I mean, if I was a filmmaker making a horror movie and it did it for some and not others, I'd be thrilled that I got it for some. So, and good on them for that.
Oh, good for you. Remember that Christian Bale when he was all sarcastic?
Yeah. That's what I want to use with AI. My only goal is to come up with the legitimate what that would have looked like on set. Have everybody in the Terminator costumes. I want to see that with AI. Like, let's do that.
Conceptualize that.
Missing footage.
Yeah. I saw one on somebody did like a low level looking film and like had that as just the background noise, and they were all actors in like cardboard outfits. It's pretty funny. Wow. But we need a real deal like AI influence with that baleness.
Well, hype. You know, a lot of movies. We called this episode "Scariest Movie I've Ever Seen" in quotes, because this is like a thing. I mean, it happens, and I guess it makes sense. I mean, technically, you could go like, how many Marvel Blu-rays do I have on my shelf where I could find a quote that says "best Marvel movie ever" on it? Like, there's going to be something. But it is interesting, because it does feel like with horror movies, at least, there is that kind of like, it feels almost like they're marketed like hot sauces or something, where it's like, oh man, no, this one's gonna really fuck you up.
Right.
Yeah.
But it definitely, I don't know. To me, it always feels like a marketing tactic, 100%.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, horror is one of the top grossing genres there is, and it's because people just need to experience it in that way, like in a theater, and that's why they do so well at theaters. So I don't know. It works, and sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah,
everybody's different with it. You know, things that are terrifying for others are not for others. You know, like this is where I almost feel like I'm so desensitized to everything that you're like, I wish one of these movies did it for me now. They did years ago when I was a child. I mean, I was saying to you the other day, Connor, like when I saw the original People Under the Stairs trailer when I was a kid, that terrified the shit out of me. I'd never seen the movie, but just the imagery of it that enough was what did it. And I think that's even the thing with horror, is like what I didn't see or what I only knew of, that's what terrified me more. And then as I've just all these years later of watching horror, I'm never going to have those same experiences again, which is why I know a Skinamarink is not going to make me feel like maybe the 12-year-old who's watching this for the first time getting into horror. And I think that's the fun part. So it's almost like you want to kind of take back the I don't want to be some like gatekeeper about horror. And I hate people who do gatekeep horror, especially
Yes.
because of that. You know, we're all different. Like, I didn't start out wanting to watch these movies. Like, I just rewatched all the Saw movies.
Yeah.
They just became gimmicky fun to me. But as a kid, you know, when you're younger, there's like, oh, those are kind of terrifying in some ways.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas here, I'm just like, nah, I'm into this thing. I'm eating dinner and just watching the traps go left and right, and you're into the fun of it. You know.
I used to have to watch the behind the scenes videos of Saw before I could watch Saw. I love it.
Great, it's
Why?
fun, man.
Because it would freak you out too much.
Yeah, I was like getting into horror movies, and Saw had just come out and was huge, and I was terrified and was like, oh, if I do this, then I'll know how it's fake, and I can handle it.
Yeah.
I will say in a month and a half,
that helps,
I've talked when the new when Saw X comes out that end of September, early October, we're gonna do a Saw series, Saw-tacular, just all about Saw, and
I probably could still walk through the entire lore of Saw. It's a horror soap opera in the best way, and I love it.
Absolutely.
Please make it more convoluted.
Absolutely.
I imagine that episode we'll probably start talking about the new movie. I was just saying that, yeah, I think the second part of that episode for the Saw episode is just going to be us trying to do a timeline of the series.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
I was going to just mention like two things talking about this is, have you guys ever had experiences in theaters with a scary movie with like an audience member having like a severe reaction? Because you always hear about that stuff. It's like, oh, they had to call an ambulance, or somebody barfed. Do you guys have any like experiences with that? Because I certainly don't. It seems weird to me. I had one friend tell me that he almost barfed. He like barfed and caught it in his mouth during a movie, but it wasn't even a horror movie. It was during it was because he was laughing too hard. And Bruno, when Bruno when he makes the penis stand up and go Bruno,
and that's when you throw up in the theater.
That's
awesome.
He threw up because he was laughing too hard. But yeah.
I had a friend when we first the first Hostel movie. I remember she had like a panic attack and we had to leave halfway through. That's probably the only time that I can think of that I think I left a movie at all, just because she couldn't take being there.
I think Saw 3 was the movie I remember the most watching people walk out. Specifically,
that was the 3D one or two,
the
right? Or was
machine.
No, that's 7.
That one wasn't 3D.
That was 7. Okay, that's right.
But it had there was a trap that involved like every body part.
Yeah, the twisting.
Oh yeah.
People were
pretty rough.
Walking out real fast, which is like pretty far into the movie. So I think it must have been not a like I can't handle this anymore, but like a
I'm gonna yarts.
Literal guttural reaction. Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool and kind of scary. It makes it like freaked. Or I was like, am I about to die?
I know. That's always the voice in my head when I just see something weird happening. I feel like there are people who I went to an 11 a.m. showing of Mother. It was like really weird, and there was like old people in there, and I don't think they quite knew what was good.
It's a new Jennifer Lawrence picture.
Yeah, and they were like, I could hear just audibly people being like, where is this going? And then eventually a couple people leaving, and it was already a very small audience. So, yeah, that's really it, though. I've never seen anyone throw up or do anything crazy or faint or just do like a whole like dramatic declarative thing or something. I would love to see. I mean, I don't want anyone to be hurt or anything, but it'd be very interesting to see one of these phenomenons that they always market and stuff.
Sure.
They do. I do remember the most recent experience, Bone Tomahawk.
Oh yeah.
I was still relatively. I feel like it was like my first year in LA, if I'm putting the year right. And I remember someone close to me like that, hearing that like the sort of like internal like sound of someone that was close to
oh my god
doing something, and he walked out. So which also I think in the realm of like movies that I think like kind of broke me, that was
was it during the wishbone scene?
Makes sense.
Yeah
Yeah, hell yeah.
I was
would do
eating
it.
pizza when that happened. Like,
Oh wow.
Wow.
what about you, Edwin? Have you ever, because you've worked at a theater for a long time, have you ever had experiences with people like extra freaked out at a theater, getting sick?
Uh, I want to say Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where the Brad Pitt beat up the Nazis, the hippies, and it was like that was too violent. I was like, that's violent. That dude made some pretty violent movie. It's like minor, but that's still badass thing.
Okay, we're back.
I remember. There was a recent horror movie that we played, the Los Feliz. I totally forgot what it's called. She walked out. She walked out of it crying and shit like that. Like, why did you take me to see this? Like, I
Oh.
forgot what the
Newer movie or something
newer movie.
Oh wow.
like Infinity Pool, maybe?
No. More recent. This year. It came out this year. Uh,
Hmm.
what's it's? I think it's an
Barbarian?
A24 movie. No, not Barbarian. Not Barbarian.
Oh.
Was it
Evil
a
Dead Rise is the only other
Oh yeah.
kind of violent
Evil
gore.
No,
Dead?
thing I
not
think
Evil
of.
Dead Rising. Huh?
what was it, like a major film? Beau is Afraid. Knock it. Oh my god.
But it was like pretty hardcore, something like that. I don't know, but I'm trying to remember the damn movie. Fuck. Yeah, she walked out of it crying and shit.
Scream.
Nah, that's
Scream.
The Pope's
That's
mean-
serious
Exorcist.
sin.
Yeah, Pope's Exorcist. I wanted to walk out crying too.
Shit, I forgot the name of the movie. I don't know. It'll come back to me, I guess.
I've seen. I don't know if it's the same sort of reaction, but I've seen Edwin leave every movie.
So
too, yeah.
true.
No,
Me
how
too.
about this, Daniel? How about you go fuck yourself, all right? Fuck you, Daniel.
I do while you're in the lobby of the theater.
Man.
I'm watching the movie.
I
I'm by
sat
myself.
next to Edwin's bag for a double feature at the Egyptian a couple years ago.
Oh, you
I remember
did?
you were there. Yeah, it was the slap shot and double impact double feature or not
Last
double
night.
the sudden death. And I just remember sitting next to you. I thought I was sitting next to you, and it was your bag that I sat next to the entire evening.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Your
have
bag your bag is like Belial and you're in basket case and you just carry it. It's just an entity. Oh my god, yes.
That was for a certain screening in Palm Springs. And yeah, I fell asleep to it. Not all
Yeah.
of it, but I
That's
still got to see the whole damn thing.
I was getting sort of sleepy during that too. I'm in the background there, also sort of sleepy.
Yeah.
So,
Zoom in, enhance. We can catch
Jeez.
them.
and then I guess the other side of that, that other side of that question, I asked earlier is what do you guys think the scariest thing that you guys have ever seen in a movie? I've answered this before.
Oh.
Because like real world stuff always freaks me out, like way more. They should make just a movie about someone dealing with health problems, and
Oh yeah,
that'll fucking scare the shit out of me.
that's why that Beau is afraid.
I think the thing I said it before, like real stuff scares me, and so the one scene in any movie that scares me the most still to this day is that crowd car scene from War of the Worlds. Like that always like fucking freaks me out because it's like so real and so much about just like human emotion and stuff, and like I have like those are the kind of nightmares I have, like being in situations like that where like people are just like scrambling. Like I remember when like COVID first hit, like I was having like panic attacks at the store because the way everyone was acting, and it wasn't even that crazy, you know what I mean, but it was like you could tell people were like frantic in a way, and yeah, it's like fucking Black Friday shit where people get like trampled.
Ugh. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What about you guys?
I feel like I love to watch a lot of horror, but I think a theater experience that really overwhelmed me was just the climax of the remake of Suspiria, oddly enough. I think it was more so that it's just completely red, and it was something about it just being just overtly and red and dominant in that color, and just kind of I got a little claustrophobic, and I started to kind of feel a little panicky, and I was like, this is crazy. This is like Suspiria. It's not like the most intense film or even I guess IP at this point. I don't know if you would call it that, but
A
yeah, it
minor.
was just yeah, but it was weird. So but you know, you power through it, but it's yeah, just something about being in a theater with a certain film where the senses kind of get overwhelmed, and I don't know, but definitely not realistic in the slightest. I think it was more just a sensory thing,
Mhm.
because there's just demon ladies dancing around, and there's just I don't know, it's crazy. But I'm more so yeah, I sometimes feel like the scariest stuff as I get older is the very real world
Mhm.
uh themes. Yeah.
And it's interesting because even those real world themes, because some of this the trauma based stuff is what I kind of gravitate towards. Like I enjoy. It's almost like a thing where you can relate on even subconscious levels, and it's something that I've always just enjoyed gravitating toward. I mean, even like these, like Hereditary and these movies that are. How could you watch that more than once? I don't know. It's a weird,
Hmm.
Mhm.
warm, happy place in a strange way.
Hmm.
Um, that I like to watch it in. And I don't know, maybe it's your own internal what you're dealing with. It's just this other way of kind of expelling it without actually having to be like in Hereditary or Midsommar or
No,
something
for
like
sure.
that.
No, I mean,
But
I totally agree. I think even in the context of like the War of the World scene, as much as it freaks me out, it's
mhm.
also a good release of that tension,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
opposed to just
Yeah, I
sitting
think
It's
what
there
it's
and thinking
yeah,
about
Wes
it.
Craven has a really good quote about horror not being about scaring you, but about being a place to release fear. And yeah, I agree with that.
I do like that.
absolutely.
I feel the same way about like a lot of my favorite music is on the sadder side, and I think it's just a way to connect
Hmm.
emotionally when
Absolutely.
as a release, whether you're sad or not. I don't want to exist scared in reality, so I think releasing it in a through art makes it feel
Hmm.
cathartic instead.
Yeah.
And everybody's different just because you and I maybe relate that way, where we're like, oh, I'll listen to that most depressing music, but that somehow brings me out of it. Whereas
Mhm.
others going to go like, that's suicide music. Why would you want to listen to that to yourself? And it's
Yeah,
like, no, that's to me, that's what does it. I'll wake up and listen to that thing. And it's why Elliott Smith exists as a human being, is for that morning wake up when you're like, nah, I got nothing else in me. And that's just
Mm.
what it is that you need to rise that next step or whatever that may be. I
Um,
can't just throw a happy song. I'm gonna want to throw myself off a bridge. The opposite's gonna want to happen. You
Yeah.
know.
yeah, Daniel, Brian, Edwin, do you guys have answers to that? To like the scariest thing you've seen in a theater?
I think. I mean, it's hard. I mean, I definitely maybe go back as a kid. I think. I mean, like the Blair Witch. I remember seeing
Mm.
that. I saw the Blair Witch when it first came out, and it was
Awesome.
that whole promotional campaign where it was like, no one really knew what we were
Hmm.
going to see, and it was
People thought
that
it might
thing
be
where I just
real.
everybody absolutely, and we all went to the theater that expectation, and that was definitely one of those that sat with me a lot of years for sure.
to bring it home, the first Saw, I was not a horror kid. I was very afraid of horror, and Saw was so popular that I had to watch it. Like friends were like, "We're gonna watch Saw," and I made it through the watching it with them, and it was at someone's house. Wasn't even in the theater at the time. Um, and I had nightmares for like 2 weeks. Like all I thought about
Mm.
was
Mm.
Yeah, I did
that
same.
no one actually dies and your body parts come off when they shouldn't, and I'm
Oh
gonna get
no.
trapped in a room with
Oh
like
yeah.
barbed wire. Then it was really nice because once I got over it, and then in terms of like when the second one was coming out, then I was like hyped. Where I was like, that was kind of fun.
Right.
Like that's like a
You
fun
get
time.
it.
And then I
That's what
started to
happens
like,
with it, where you're desensitized. You're kind of going, am I
Yeah.
just a crazy person now that I'm just like into, that I can handle this stuff, or it's just that's the way it is. But it's
let's,
interesting how you like now look fun for it, like what
yeah,
Saw can be, and it's
That's
just
like I
it's
know
a
it's
different
gonna
way of
gross me
loving horror.
That's
out, but
that
I
Yeah,
Bart.
want
yeah,
I
yeah.
want it.
That's
I'm
that
like,
Bart
it's gonna be
Simpson thing where
nasty.
he's like yelling at Maggie, like if you don't watch the violence, how are you gonna get desensitized to it?
Yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah.
it's the Saw, like Saw specifically, like these things happen, and normally you're like, wow, I hope they get out of this, and then you're
Mm,
sitting there watching Saw, and you're like, wow, I kind of hope they don't because I want to
mm.
see what happens,
Yeah.
and that's a conversation for a therapist maybe, but I do find it intriguing.
We still
I
ain't
have
ever
run with mine about the
seen
Saw movies.
we still ain't ever seen what actually happens to a human when that reverse bear trap goes off.
Mm.
Technically.
No, we
Mm.
did in
Oh, do they?
Saw
Do they do it in one of the later ones?
6.
In 6? Oh,
Oh.
okay, sick.
Yeah,
That's the one I'm about to rewatch. So
yeah.
That's right, they
It's either
did.
6
Yeah.
or 7. You see the reverse bear trap, and it's
hell yeah.
full.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It might be 7 because I believe there is a 3D effect.
That makes sense. It would be in 7 because 7, I think, was also like the final chapter, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And so they probably were like, let's do the hits, baby.
It was the
we got
kitchen
Carrie
sink.
Elway's back.
It's the worst kitchen sink I've ever seen in my life.
What about you,
That was a
Edwin?
bad one.
Muted.
You're muted.
Has he been muted?
You're muted, or your microphone's not picking up.
Yeah, we're not hearing you at all.
Oh no.
I don't know what the Zoom phone app looks like, so I probably can't help. I'm so sorry.
Can't throw it. Oh. He exited out. Maybe he'll rejoin us.
Yep.
I believe in him.
We're about to go to final segments, but I want to hear what everyone has to say. Let's
Pins and needles.
here we go. He's entering the waiting room.
Oh, connecting to audio.
Hello? Nope, still can't hear you.
Oh no.
Try getting it set up with your computer like you usually do. This is great.
It'll be time to record the next podcast.
Yeah. This part I'm leaving in. This part's staying in on the YouTube
This
version.
Golden.
Yeah, we need like a Edwin room tour. We need like a I don't know, YouTuber style
Oh, there it
You
is.
room
should
tour.
TikTok live it.
Oh god. Yeah.
Just a VHS hoarder, just a movie hoarder. This is actually like hoarders,
Just hoarder.
It's just hoarders, yeah.
But beautiful.
but beautiful. Yeah, it is beautiful. I don't worry about it yet.
No.
It's still
I do.
Where's the Hangover banner? He's-
Oh,
Have you ever play Win, Lose, or
Still
Draw?
can't-
I'm
still
not,
can't
I'm
hear
not
you.
picking Edwin for my partner.
Are you just not going to have audio? Oh, you're doing your computer. You're setting that up. This is great.
I love this. This is
Wait,
great.
That camera movie made it look like he did some cuts weirdly enough in there.
All right. Well, you know what? We'll go ahead and Edwin, can you using
experience was watching Mamma Mia.
Yeah, your sign. Can you use sign
Brian.
language to tell us what the scariest thing you've seen in theaters is?
It's a motion picture called.
Yeah, it's like 2 words.
Yeah, okay.
You know?
It's Alive.
It's alive.
That's
Oh,
the
baby,
scariest
really?
thing you've ever seen in theaters. No, it's just something he had
Just
within
the one
reach.
that was right next to his. Right.
I told him to rent The Suckling today, and he said, "No, that's too much for me." And I was like, "Okay, that's fair." But I mean,
Let's
if you
see.
have that,
I saw Edwin saw Rosemary's Baby for the first time the other day. It's something.
I did hear that. I gotta admit, I've never seen that film, and I really want to. And it looks really good.
It's a tough one. It's one of those just remove the filmmaker and I can talk about the love for that film.
And that might be
much-
why the hesitancy.
And it's
was there.
understandable.
Yeah.
It's very understandable.
Looks gorgeous though. Anytime I've seen a clip.
That's the problem with it. Yeah, what it does with when it makes its left turn, you're just like, man, it's that effective. And I can't knock what that is, but I will absolutely spend every moment knocking the filmmaker for the rest of what that is.
Yep, that's fair. That's definitely
Keep saying Edwin is connecting to audio and that he's not.
He can be stopped, and it's
technical
hard to watch.
difficulties.
I'm
have censored
gonna
him.
guess he declined microphone usage to the Zoom app on his phone, and he has to go in and shift it.
Probably right. Yeah. in
But
the setting,
I
yeah.
don't know what his phone is enough to walk him through that.
But he's zoomed to us before. I think, through his phone. So I don't understand. I don't understand what's happening. Edwin, how long is this computer taking to boot up? Is it almost...
This is so fascinating.
Oh, where are we going?
To see, where are we going?
Oh, if you fall? Oh.
Did he fall?
This is why it's like it relay back to all of his handlers basically watching to make sure you can get through the next step here.
My hand is hovering over the phone in case I need to call.
Yeah, if like one of those shelves fall on top of
Yeah,
him.
need to call it in. Yeah.
We could just call him in and hold it up to the here. I'll do that. I'm gonna call him and I'll hold it up to my mic.
Oh yeah, that's actually that's a good idea.
Yeah,
maybe
that's a good idea.
maybe I should do it.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
That is
Here, that's how we'll get you on audio for now.
Tell Daniel's the guy who works in production right there. That's a guy who.
You know what? I was literally like, I was at the same time. I was like, I'm just gonna do this.
I got her.
Hey,
Is it working?
I mean, I can hear you on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm here, man. I'm here. I'm alive.
All right. Well, you'll have to be here this way.
All right, I'm figuring this shit out right now, Connor. I'm on the case.
All right. Well, what is the scariest thing you've ever seen in a theater?
Hereditary. I don't know why, but it scared me.
Hereditary.
Got my heart racing for like a good chunk of the movie. After I walked out, my heart was still fucking racing, man. That guy, Ari Aster, man. What a guy.
He's an interesting man.
Yeah. Also, I hate Bo's Afraid. I think the movie sucked. That's about it.
Just throw it in there.
Well, it's time.
That sounds about right though.
Time to
I would
move
expect
on to Connor's Wicked Games, sponsored by Chris Isaac.
An old, yeah.
Every week we're playing a new fun game. I was originally going to try to do a game this week where I find like movies where like people have had like reactions in the theater and like describe the symptoms, and then you guys would have to guess the movie. But I couldn't. The problem is there wasn't a lot of good options for that. It was just mostly like, oh, they barfed. Oh, they passed out. You know, there was like, I might revisit it though. Instead, what I've done is I've chosen 6 horror films, all of which I don't know if they would be considered the scariest movies ever made, but certainly notorious in one way or another. Are either great, were movies that had reactions or reported reactions, or were notorious among critics. Maybe you guys could take me to task over one of these, but I found some 1-star reviews of the films on IMDb, and I'm going to read to you the 1-star review, and you guys are going to try to guess what the movie is. I've cut out a little bit, but I've also kept some stuff in that'll maybe give it away. And I'm kind of doing a little system here where when you guess, as soon as you think you have an idea, say it. And then if you later want to change it, let me know. But I'm going to give you guys points based on like whoever guesses first will get more points potentially. And so, yeah, let's get started. I'm going to put Edwin down towards here because I can hear him, even if the mic can't hear him, because all he has to do right now is guess.
I got my computer going.
Okay, do you want to switch over?
Going on my thing.
Okay. Oh. There's 2 Edwin Gomez.
So Saw 10 was really good. Saw it last night. He's not on here for the next couple months. Edwin's down. Oh, we see double of them now.
He has 2.
Look at this guy.
I can't hear you on the computer yet. You need to turn your.
What?
No, we can hear you now.
Oh, it's like okay.
Jesus Christ, you can hear him through the phone?
Wow.
Okay.
That's
All right.
I think it's coming through the phone now. What?
I
Wait, were
think
your
it is,
headphones
yeah.
plugged into the phone when you were on Zoom? We lost you.
You've muted yourself on the phone.
Oh my God.
You need to unmute the phone. The phone is where we're hearing you from for some reason. Are the headphones plugged into where are the headphones plugged into? You're muted. Unmute yourself on the phone.
How about now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Are you
In the computer too?
Are the phones? Well, we're not hearing you double. Is the phone? Where are the headphones plugged into? The computer?
The computer. Yeah, to the computer.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. So we're just gonna leave it like this. Leave them both unmuted. We're just gonna have 2 angles of you for the rest of the episode. So
multi-camera Edwin session. Love it.
Oh,
you got a switcher in here right now for you.
Yeah, whenever you switch out of you have to be. We're hearing you through the. Even though the headphones are plugged into the computer, we're somehow hearing you through your phone.
Wait, should I just leave the phone?
Yeah, just leave the phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, no.
No!
That's not what we meant by leave.
God! I'm not even...
Unplug the headphones from your computer.
I have to play that.
And now if you talk, can we hear you? All right, at the bottom of the screen next to the mute icon, can you click the little arrow and tell me what it says under select a microphone? Except don't tell me because I can't hear you. But choose MacBook Pro microphone. Or, yeah. There should be like a little arrow next to the mute button on the bottom of Zoom. And then if you click on it, at the top, it'll say select a microphone and then choose.
What have you done differently today?
Just woke up and said,
this is a high technical difficulty episode.
This is
Just call back in on your phone, since the phone works.
Good. Yeah, just join the Zoom again through your phone.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Join the Zoom on your phone.
You know he's doing this on purpose.
It definitely does get to that point. Yeah, it is fascinating. Fascinating was the word I was thinking this entire process. Fascinating is the word.
He's the youngest of us, and yet on a technological level, he feels like the oldest.
What
The
heck, Zoomer? Aren't you supposed to know all the tech things?
Zoomer defeated by Zoom.
Yeah. Damn.
Zoom versus Zillennial. They got him.
Uh-oh.
Got him.
I'm concerned that he's not back in yet.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
One of those bookshelves fell on him, and he's covered by 600 movies currently.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a horror movie, and we're like, wait, Edwin was supposed to be back by now, and then we all panic.
Have you guys watched those like searching and missing movies?
No.
Hell yeah, absolutely. I was thinking
they're so much fun. It's like they're like fully from a computer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so much fun. It's like at first I was like, oh, it's like a fun gimmick, and then I couldn't believe how much they got away with. Or I was like, this is damn good.
I forget which one it was. It was one of those horror ones, but I remember like there was a sequence where like this girl or character comes out and like takes her ear off or something. It was a crazy thing at the end of it. And I was like, holy shit!
I haven't watched them. I know that Unfriended's supposed to be really good.
Unfriended, yes, those are the ones that were the unfriended ones. Yeah, it was one of the ending of one of those. It was kind of a wild one.
And then
you know what it was? I think they like drilled her whole head, like her head or something, and then all of a sudden she just like shows her skull, and you're like, holy shit! Like, it was one of the most effective in what we're doing kind of things.
What the fuck?
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Yeah, that's right. You can't stop me, motherfuckers. I'm still alive, motherfucker.
We got him.
What is that? That microphone sounds like it's from 1983 somehow.
I was gonna say, is this Top Gun? What is happening?
I actually
old headphones. Yeah, talk to me.
I have a microphone to give you. It's the same. It's the same one Connor has.
Wow.
Okay, can you give it to me?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to get you set up. We're gonna have to get you a setup.
Yeah, give me a fucking setup, Connor.
We're gonna build you a rig.
I want to build a backpack and it'll hang over his head.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, man. This has been a fucking nightmare, man. From the valley to Mulholland to my house to the phone to computers.
This really has been the scariest episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, let's do this game. I'm gonna read these reviews. I'm gonna read these 1-star reviews of either famous or infamous horror films. And you guys are gonna try to guess what the horror is and what the movie is. All right. So number 1.
Like raise your hand or anything.
This better be good like last time, man. I swear to God.
You can just shout it out, and I'll try to keep track in my head. And if you want to change your answer, you can change it. But if somebody answered first and you change it, you become like after them, like in the way I'm distributing the points for when you guess. But here's number one. I took my little brother to see this movie when it was re-released in theaters. We were both hoping to see an intense psychological horror film. Instead, what we saw was a dull, tediously cloying film. Apart from the overbearing, menacing soundtrack, there is almost no suspense. I had no feeling of warmth for any of the characters, and it feels like the director didn't either. It's an intensely ugly movie, and I felt cheated by it. I suppose that since it was one of the first movies of this kind, then theatergoers at the time viewed it very differently, but it really doesn't stand the test of time, and these days it seems just like an attempt by Hollywood to cash in on the commercial success of Rosemary's Baby.
Oh.
I think I know what it is.
Shout it out.
It's Alive.
Marina?
No. Ah, crap. I think you got it right.
I think I'm not right.
No,
I was gonna say Exorcism of Emily Rose, and I don't think that's right at all.
Oh, The Omen. The Omen.
Oh,
The Omen. I'm gonna say The Omen.
It's a re-release. Is it just Exorcist? I can't remember which.
I was gonna
first.
say that too. Yeah.
Because Exorcist got released in 1979, but The Omen seems more.
When was Rosemary's Baby? Was that early 70s?
1968.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Brian, what do you think?
I don't know, but I feel like it's got to be like more of a current remake, something like, almost like when The Ring got remade, or something that was just like the way you're talking about it. And I can't think of what Rosemary's Baby type of trope we would have hit.
Like, what's an
more
ugly
recently.
movie? Like,
Yeah.
Can't really.
I mean, honestly, funny you say that the Suspiria movie to a lot of people was an ugly movie, the remake, because obviously it went from one look to, which I thought was the effective way of doing that. I love that remake, but yeah, I can't think of what.
Do you want to stick with that though? Then,
yeah.
So
yeah,
I think we had in the order. I think Edwin was saying Omen, then Daniel Exorcist, Marina agreed with Exorcist, and then Brian said.
I'm gonna go new. Yeah, I'm gonna say like The Ring or something. But I don't really know.
And so, Daniel and Marina are right. It's the original Exorcist.
Fuck you, Connor.
Okay.
That's bullshit, man.
It's not
interesting.
It's ugly in parts. Those medical scenes are hard to watch.
Yeah, the two sentences I cut out were the only way in this film works at all is, beforehand that Linda Blair is possessed by the devil, and there's no explanation as to why Blair is possessed. So, yeah. All right. Number 2, and I've cut down the number of questions I do each time too. I was doing 9 previously, and I was like, these are running out of steam, so we're doing 6 today. Number 2, is there a 0 option in the voting menu? Is there? Because if there was, I want to see it. I went to see this movie because all my friends told me that it would scare me. I've never been even remotely frightened by a movie before. This movie didn't even come close to scaring me. It was so unbelievably asinine and stupid that I can't believe it even got picked up for distribution, much less called great. I can't believe it made the amount of money it did. I should have demanded a refund. A waste of my $7.
Okay. $7.
Okay.
Oh, I know what it
it's
is.
telling right there. Yeah.
Evil Dead. Evil Dead.
I'm saying Paranormal Activity.
Evil Dead.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a real good one.
So we got Evil Dead and Paranormal Activity. Daniel, Brian?
I'm kind of on the Paranormal Activity. I like that. And I feel like that probably would have been ticket prices more.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like,
Yeah.
Unless they're just like in the Midwest still.
That's also true.
Going to a matinee.
True.
Movie or not a horror movie or these are all horror, you said?
Yeah.
Where nothing happens.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I changed my answer, I guess.
I'm drawing a blank. I can't even think of a guess.
It's Paranormal Activity. Yeah, mine.
It's tough because it's very general, and it could apply to a lot of things.
Yeah.
But
Oh, wait. Oh, it could be Blair Witch 2.
Oh, 2. I just watched 2. It's awful.
I know you saw that. I don't know why you saw that. I could have warned you
but I
about
feel like
it.
that's the thing. Who would have actually said that was good?
Maybe it's
get the hype
Skinamarink.
up about it.
It's not
Yeah,
Skinamarink.
That'd be great.
All right. Well, everyone's guesses were in, and no one got it right. Edwin, you got really, really close. That was the original Blair Witch Project.
Oh
shit.
my god!
I cut out-
Son of a
footage.
bitch.
Found footage. I see.
I cut out this sentence. Let's put it this way: if I took a few of my friends into the woods with a video camera and made scary noises at them so they could pretend to scream, it would undoubtedly be scarier and superior to this movie. I'm sorry, but those Blair Witch noises sounded exactly like someone playing a prank on them.
Okay.
So
well,
no points awarded
Okay.
that round. Round 3, and actually I haven't cut out anything from this review.
okay.
Better be good, man.
The
Better
next
be good.
3 I've cut out nothing except the mention of a name, the actual title in one of them. All right. I would give it a 0 when someone merely wants to create art to show the world he is an artist. I lack the words and the motivation to give a decent review. Purposeless, but for the beautiful pictures. Next time, I'd rather waterboard myself for 2.5 hours.
Ooh.
That,
Ooh.
what?
So we have a
Antichrist.
long horror movie. Ooh, Antichrist.
Antichrist
You're guessing Antichrist?
looks beautiful.
Mm.
Kind of.
Oh, this is rough.
This is the thing. It's tough. It's generalized, so it's kind of like what do your brain immediately go to?
I don't.
Oh wait, The Cell.
Oh,
Alright.
Cell?
that's a good.
Antichrist, The
That's a long
Cell.
one. It's
Yeah.
notoriously good looking,
No, it is.
but
It is.
people don't. I don't know. They're a little mixed on the actual story. I was gonna say possibly Mother. I can't think of anything though. I don't know. A long, good-looking horror movie.
Danny?
I'm having a bunch of freaking brain farts about long horror movies. I was trying to look at my letterbox to see if I could. I was like, what? I guess like Midsommar.
God damn it!
That might be over that.
I'm gonna stick to The Cell. I'm sticking to The Cell.
All right. Unfortunately, none of you guys got it, but Brian, you were really, really close. It's The House That Jack Built.
Fuck you!
I just someone told me with him because that's the biggest thing is always shit
Uh-huh.
looks great, but and there's always that.
God, I don't like this game
Makes
anymore.
sense, though.
Well, we're halfway through it, so you don't have to hold on too much longer.
I like the plot one. The plot one was so much better.
All right, another review. You've got to be kidding! I'm laughing myself out of my chair. I can't believe how people here see the symbolism and artistic flair in this fifth-rate piece of junk. I saw this with my cousin and a friend in 1972 at a midnight movie. It was clear to all the teens that this trashy film was simply made to throw a few shivers into us. Seriously. The packed theater was roaring with laughter at the horrible acting, lousy screenplay, and obvious violence. The show became a word-by-mouth cult film a la Night of the Living Dead, and I must have seen this trip down trash lane about a dozen times. Shocking? You've got to be kidding, he repeats again. Ha ha. In 1972, it was a laugh fest. Funny how time turns junk into art.
The Last House on the Left.
Last House on the Left, definitely,
Yeah, Last House on the Left,
Yeah.
baby.
definitely. It's only a movie. It's only a movie. It's only a movie.
Gotta get that poster. I gotta track
Marina,
that one down.
Daniel?
The answers are so confident that I guess I'll just agree.
You'll agree.
Honestly, yeah, because I could see how an audience might think maybe the first half of that movie is like crazy, or I don't know, like laughable, like they're so crazy. I don't know. I don't know.
And that hillbilly music doesn't help. That soundtrack.
Yeah, because yeah. Anyways, yep. Okay, sure. Going with that. Y'all sound real confident.
Well, unfortunately, you guys all got it right.
Yay!
Oh.
About damn time, man.
It helps when we have like an idea of the decade at least, or some
Yeah.
era of where it could be.
I think
Oh,
I think
yeah,
I
'cause
did a
seriously,
good job
anything.
of like structuring these where there's a couple
Absolutely, yeah.
little clues. All right.
Sure.
Next one. The hype is fake. Terrified, not at all. This is a shock gore film. Not scary, but gory. There's a difference between horror and gore. Horror is the original Exorcist, a combination of tension, frightening
Oh, I know.
scenes, and an excellent story. I think of the original Alien movie. You guys can shout out if you have an early guess.
Terrifier.
That was
Wow.
scary.
I'm gonna go to Hostel.
This movie is about shock and gore, not scary at all. The reason people were piling, I think they maybe meant puking, is because they drank too much. It was one theater full of teens, and they were drinking and got sick. It was a screening. Anyhow, it's a slasher movie that is gory, not so scary, but off-putting. If you want to be true as scared, watch the original Exorcist or Alien.
Oh,
Terrifier.
well,
No.
I'm kind of doubting myself now.
Dead Alive? I'm gonna say Dead Alive.
I'm just gonna say Terrifier 2. I don't know. People have a lot to say about that. I don't know.
Daniel?
And I'm just leaning either into like Hostel or something on that land, like some sort of torture porn, that mainstream level.
I think Terrifier 2 is a good call because it's the last like thing I remember having a lot of hype.
That
and
people
being like,
really-
"This
yeah,
thing's
that's true.
stupid" type of sentiment. So I'll just agree. I'll steal Marina's answer. I'm so sorry.
And what did you say,
Oh,
Edwin?
please.
Dead Alive.
Well, even though you guys guessed first, Marina and Daniel, you're right. It's Terrifier 2, baby.
Man.
Yes, I'm so stoked.
It's a fun time. That's a fun one.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, it's great.
All right, and then one last one. This first part is them pointing out the rating on IMDb, which I think is actually different when this review is written. 7.6, really? I'm still amazed I actually made it to the end of the movie without throwing my TV out the window. This was beyond crap. Unbelievable. I mean, I have seen my share of bad horror movies, but this one is right up there with the worst of them. Val Kilmer in The Traveler is Oscar material in comparison. That's how bad this is. And what's the deal with the man in the background when they drive over the bridge? Oh well, another 80 minutes of my life I'll never get back. To summarize, I give this movie 1 out of 10.
The Island of Dr. Monroe.
It sounds a little more modern. No.
It's gotta be the Island of Dr. Monroe. It's gotta be.
Man, bridge.
Or Mindhunter. No, but
I don't. I mean, so they were watching it at home on their TV, so
Yes.
it doesn't have to be something that was newer, re-released.
What about The Wicker Man?
The Wicker Man.
wait, is Val Kilmer in the movie?
No.
No,
Maybe.
But it came out like
Maybe.
Yeah, that's the other. Oh, that's the other thing. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the other thing. Time wise, might
Oh,
not be
no.
it then.
They just brought up a performance that they thought was bad.
It was bad, yeah.
Man, bunch of haters.
All right, so any guesses on that last one?
I hate that question. I refuse to answer the question. I would not participate in this question. I'm just mad. I'm mad.
All right. Well,
I might just throw out a really shitty guess. I'm just gonna say Shutter Island, and I don't remember the movie.
Here's the crazy thing. I literally thought of Shutter Island when we were
Really?
talking about that. Randomly,
Wow.
I actually thought of Shutter Island. Yeah,
Whoa, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Wavelength. Okay, cool.
absolutely.
Daniel?
I don't actually remember if there's a bridge scene, but my brain wants to say It Follows just because it had shots of people in places they shouldn't be on top of things.
Well,
But probably wrong.
you're all wrong. It's my favorite movie, The Evil Dead.
Evil Dead,
Ah.
okay.
What? Where is the bridge?
That's-
What?
When
Bullshit,
Okay. Very
man.
beginning.
they cross a bridge at the very beginning over the car.
I rarely watch the first one, anyways. To be fair, so
I cut
No.
out this sentence or cut part. What do you do when your best friend that suddenly turned into a zombie attacks you and drives a pencil through your ankle? You do the only reasonable thing anyone would do: take a nap, of course. Suddenly they turn into zombies.
yeah.
But as it went, Why did I delete that? That's the wrong thing to delete. I give out gold, silver, and bronze medals for our first, second, and third. I feel bad for the person. We actually did have someone come in fourth today, based on my points. And Brian, you're nodding. It was you.
I just figured. Yeah, it's we played enough game nights together where I just sort of know my role with these things, so it's fine.
Third place with the bronze medal is Edwin today. Marina, you have another silver to add to your collection from last time.
Hell yeah.
And
Good, not great.
Daniel, you got the gold, baby.
Bringing the gold.
I don't know how this happened. It'll never happen again. Thank you so much.
Bastards.
But yeah, and then let's move to this next short segment. It's Edwin's cool stuff that I didn't save the sound sample I have for it because I'm a moron. Here we go. Take it away, buddy. You're supposed to talk over the music.
All right. I said, God, I can't talk over this. It's so annoying. Fucking hate this. This is bullshit. Movie's garbage either way, man.
It's not about the movie. It's a song.
Yeah. Just your intro song.
God damn
It's an
it,
intro
man.
song.
It's beautiful.
Alright, so what did I do today? I went all around LA, went to the Cinephile with Marina and Kelly, and I got some cool motion pictures. I got a movie called Fireworks. It's a Beat the Cashin movie. I also got another Takashi movie called Kikajiro. Yeah, so I got one. I ended up getting The Boys from Brazil, which is a very good movie about Nazis resurrecting Hitler. And he's like cloning him all over the country. He's like a little evil motherfucker, and has a very violent kill scene including with dogs, which is awesome. I got a Hong Kong movie called Paper Marriages with Sammo Hung and Hong Kong beautiful star Maggie Chung, which is an incredible picture. Oh, I got a William Lustig movie called Relentless, where Judd Nelson plays a serial killer who kills people by looking up their phone numbers and addresses in the phone book. That's should be a fun picture to watch. And also got a Michael Mann produced, was supposed to be a TV show, but ended up getting a theatrical release called Band of the Hand, where a bunch of teenagers get trained to take on crime and shit like that. But yeah, that's all I got. I also got some posters from in the Westwood area where these college kids go to. I basically went off and say, "Fuck this town, fuck all you USC fuckers. You think you're better than me?" I just got posters. I got Pink Cadillac, Witness, and a bunch of other stuff. And yeah, and I went to Larry Edmonds in Hollywood, where I belong, Hollywood forever. And I scored one of my all-time favorite posters, Barfly, original one sheet, baby.
One of these days, you'll remember that this is a visual medium, and you'll have some of this stuff prepared to show us.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. I have the posters in my living room, and I was so lazy to go back, and because I got comfortable in my bed. But
Yeah, we saw some spines. Yeah, that's all.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, got some pictures. Got 6. I might watch them all in one night. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, to end the show, anything else? Anything people want to shout out, mention as a thing? I just was gonna mention. I'm not gonna dwell on it, but I read this graphic novel, The Fade Out, or comic book collection collected as a graphic novel. This like noir crime comic. It's really good. Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, who are like the masters of that stuff. And I'll also, Paul in the comments says Band of the Hand is the worst title of all time. Yeah, I'm going to be, if people are watching this live, I think I'm going to stream Metroid Prime Randomizer Monday, usual time. And yeah, anybody else got anything they want to shout out or plug or anything like that?
I'm gonna plug my wife. She has a business. It's a blog called Entertain the Idea. It's entertainidea.com. across all social medias, and it's a DIY and lifestyle and travel thing. She had her first viral video. It's got like 6 million views on TikTok for
Wow.
Yay.
Oh, yeah.
stained. It's like a
Those
faux
stained glass
stained
thing, right?
glass greenhouse,
Yeah.
Wow.
and it rules. And the rules for her. I'm very proud of her. So she's getting my plug. Entertain the idea, but entertain idea across the platform.
You did just say she, referring to your wife, is getting your plug.
She's getting a plug, yeah.
Mhm.
And also, just because I'll point out one right
Praise.
next, the closest thing next to me is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Get out of
Great
here.
film.
Get outta
Awesome.
here.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I just finished watching nine Saw movies in the last six days or so. So I don't, my brain's just pondering things.
Nice.
Nothing crazy. I'm gonna watch The Descent tonight. I think the unrated real version.
A palate cleanser, as it were.
A palate cleanser. I feel like we're gonna go to. Yeah.
You said I want some sweet dreams tonight.
Sweet dreams, and I'm gonna go to that UK version where there's no question about what we're doing. It's just pure dread.
Yep.
Well,
I would just say that Alex recommended me a movie when I was at Cinephile last, and it was Star Crystal. And he said, "You're never gonna guess how it ends," and I couldn't have guessed how it ended. Recommend that, I guess.
yeah,
Not
it's
very
like
good.
it's kind of boring, but
It's kind of boring, but I love Eraserhead baby looking weird creatures. So if you're into that,
yeah.
I love
Oh
it.
yeah.
But yeah, well, everybody, Paul and Naira who came in live, and anybody watching this on YouTube, thanks for watching. If you like this, genuinely share it with people, because that motivates us, especially me, to do it more. The attention. That's the only reason I'm doing any of this, is for the fame that will surely come. And join us next time. We're finally doing it. The hottest movie of 2023. It's our Haunted Mansion special.
God.
No, just kidding. Next week we're gonna do, as per I was basically like telling Edwin, like, send me a bunch of movies you want to talk about. And he sent me a list of movies, and so next week we're gonna talk. Next
Wait,
week's-
let me do it.
Well, you don't know how I'm framing it.
Oh, but let me say either way, man, please.
Well, we're talking about one specific movie, and then then the rest of the episode is a memorial episode for
Yes.
the person. Go ahead.
For the greatest man, the hurricane, the wildest motherfucker ever made, who made the greatest car chase, the greatest horror, the greatest adventure,
Paul
the
Rubin.
greatest LA movie ever made. William goddamn Freakin'. That movie, To Live and Die in LA.
So yeah, next week the William Friedkin memorial episode, plus To Live
That's
and
right.
Die in LA.
French Connection.
Also, I made a tribute video with Kelly Jean. I called it To Live and Die in video stores, and I yet to get her approval to post the video. So when that goes live,
You need a release.
I need a release.
Right.
I need her to say yes to it, because I put a lot of hard work into it,
Mm.
and also the theme song To Live and Die in LA is in the video, because I had no other choice, so I just went with it. So yeah. So I got boom
Oh yeah.
on censor still.
Well, thanks everyone for joining, and I'm gonna start this. I gotta do this. I forgot it last episode too. I almost did it, but I want to thank. They're here today. Marina, Sakimoto, and Shunkin for their song "Curse" that we used as our opening off the EP She Nods, and Mr. Brian Robert for composing our closing that you're about to hear right now. And God bless. Goodbye, citizens. Bye-bye.
Bye, America.
Bye guys.
Bye.
Adios, America. Uncensor, motherfucker!